Hi, crew. Welcome back to this week's training, the Strike Investor Skills Lab. We're on week five, the top 10% performer breakdown. And this is where we're going to learn what does that top 10% do differently than everyone else to get to that top 10%. So we're going to show you how to do things differently so that you can actually get up to that top 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the comps dashboard. So, if you found the property in the app, you're ready to roll on it, but you're like, hey, I don't want to get just an average property. I want to go to the top 10. Let's look here and see exactly what you can do. So I'm actually going to use my property as the example, and you can hear some of my thought process of what I'm going through. So I've typed in my address. What you want to do is type in a specific address. You can do a market too, but in this case, you want to type in your address because you're going to be pulling comps around that address. And then usually I like to do like a 5 mile radius. You can expand it out just a little bit if you want. Here, there's only 40 comps that are over 5 bedrooms. So what I want to do is probably get up to like eight. Let's do like 7 miles. Let's do 7 miles, and we're gonna see. One second. Sorry, it's loading up. Okay, I think it's still just showing 40 comps within that. Okay, here we go. 52. 48 is what it's landed on. Okay, so now we have all the bad data taken out, and I'm showing 5+ bedrooms. So this property I'm buying in Fredericksburg is the main house is technically 45 bedrooms. It shows four, but you can actually make a fifth bedroom. There's actually already a fifth bedroom. Then there's a guest house, which has 1.5, 2 bedrooms. So you can actually get up to seven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a minimum filter of like 5 bedrooms and anything above that, knowing I can kind of get up to 7 to 8 bedrooms in this case. Uh, I mean, I guess I could cut it off at like nine, maybe, and just say, hey, between 5 and 9 bedrooms in this situation. So here, this is actually my comp, my property I'm buying. So it's showing 6 bedrooms. It's making about 105 grand, or it could be making up to 107,000 is what we're predicting based on the calendar. Well, I think it can actually make way more than this. And now let's see how I'm actually coming up with those details. So 50th percentile. Look at this. It's literally making average revenue for that 6 bedroom property, which is exactly why I'm buying this property. Because I know, and like many of y'all are better operators out there. You can take a lot of these average properties, average performers, and turn them into something incredible. Usually requires a little bit of capital or a lot to do it, but it's sometimes worth putting in that capital so you can get to that top 10%. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go from the 50th and we're going to go up to this 90th, maybe even up to this higher range. So I think we can actually get to like 250,000 revenue, and we're going to spend about 200 grand to do it to get up to that. And that will mean we are making a 20% cash on cash return for this property, which is exactly where we're going to be. But if we're making this, it's like break even or negative. So it's super critical that we do the right things to get up to this area. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this table and I'm going to filter from highest to lowest. Let me hide this real quick. There we go. Okay. I'm going to filter from highest to lowest, and you're going to see, okay, what are these top performers doing that are just absolutely crushing it? Okay, well, this one here is showing like over 300 grand in revenue. Well, look at this. If you look at the property itself, oops, let me go to this one here. Well, where'd it go? Let me just go back to it. You can see it's got a swimming pool, it's got the string lights, it's got the fire pit. So you're able to see a lot of these like key details. So to me in this market, you have got to have a pool to drive that upper revenue threshold. So either A, you can spend 100 grand and put in a pool. B, even an above ground pool with like some cool decking could be cool. That's more cost effective. Or C, kind of worst case scenario. Is that Ryan? What's up, man? We'll finish up this training in the chat here in a second. Or C, you could go with more of like a cowboy pool for like 10,000 bucks. And at least you can check the box of, hey, I've got a water feature. So in my case, we do not have a pool at this property, but we see that water features are incredibly important. We do have a hot tub. Thankfully, we already have that, but we're gonna put in probably a cowboy pool, so we can check that box, make it cool, put string lights around it, but save 90 to 80 to 90,000 bucks by not doing that. And we might save this for like phase two later down the road once we make more money with the property. Let's look at some of these other comps. I'm noticing you need to be probably 12 to 18 people or even plus, like 20,000 or 20,000, 20 plus people. So we want to make sure and maximize that bedroom count. So instead of 6 bedrooms, we can actually go to 7, maybe even more. There's a barn. We could build out the upper portion to drive more of those bedrooms, which will help drive additional ROI. Um, let's look at this. This is an amenity filter that shows you what are the top 10% have that nobody else has that can drive the maximum revenue. Well, it says, hey, hot tub is one of the things that can drive one of the biggest ROIs in this particular market. Thankfully, we have that, so we're good there. Family friendly, we're thinking about we need a place for like family reunions, large gatherings, maybe small weddings. So making sure that whatever capital we put in for that makes sense. We're going to do like an outdoor kitchen because we want an outdoor like gathering place, and this will help drive additional revenue there. Pets allowed is a big deal, so we may allow pets suitable for events. Again, like the event stuff for these small gatherings or weddings is a big deal, and then also pool. So this is just some fun insights to see, hey, if you were to add certain amenities, what would help you drive a little bit more ROI to get to that top? Let's just see if there's any other interesting things here from some of these other properties. Whoops, those aren't pulling up for some reason. So this one's kind of cool. This one shows like even a fun first picture that shows a visual of multiple different spaces. So again, like your first picture, first 5 pictures is critically important. So this is something I've seen a few people do recently where they actually showcase some of their best pictures on that first photo, knowing, hey, when people are scrolling through, it's important to, catch people's eyes. Leslie, anything else you can think of I need to show for this particular one? I don't think so either.
Um,
That's basically it. I mean, I know essentially in summary, I know I can go from average to way above average because the comps are telling me, the comps are showing me it's there, but there's certain key things to actually get there. And I think in summary, water feature is critically important in Fredericksburg, Texas. Every market's different. So I'm gonna put in, a cowboy pool. I need to make sure it's suitable for events. So again, small gatherings, family reunions, even weddings. I noticed in some of the pictures like string lights, fire pits, pictures are incredibly important. So those are just some of the key things I'm noticing in that market, and then maximizing the amount of bedrooms. There's a lot of competition in that 1 to 5 bedroom range. This one's already 6 bedrooms, but it actually can be 7, and there's a barn area to like build out more. So I'm gonna probably build out to where it's like 9 bedrooms. That means there's gonna be way less competition in that 8 to 9 bedroom range. And then if we're at that upper tier, plus we have the water feature, outdoor kitchen, pickleball court is something we're gonna add in as well. These unique amenities, no one's gonna be able to compete with us. And that's exactly how you guys can do it too, is there's all this demand in this, or I mean, all this saturation in this area. How can you get to this upper area by either unique amenities or just having more bedrooms than everyone else to where no one else can compete with you? So that wraps us up, and we will be back again next week for, I think, week 6 or 7, Leslie.
At 6. Yep.
Week